When you think of baseball cities like New York and Boston, that probably comes to mind when you think of baseball cities. But did you know that Brownsville also had a huge influence on the sport of baseball? In fact, the father of the sport may have started it right here in the Rio Grande Valley. Cameron County Historical Commissioner Gina Fernandez explains it in this week's Throwback Thursday.
We are actually in a famous part of the world so far as Brownsville history is concerned, because there's one figure that is so-called the father of baseball, and that's Abner Doubleday. Now, guess where he was in 1846? He was in Brownsville, Texas, and then he came back again in 1848. Now, let me get to Abner. Like anything in the world, there's always a dispute about did you do it or did I do it or who did it first. He was from Cooperstown, New York area, which is the epicenter of baseball history. But there is very disputable evidence that he was more of like an accountant type rather than somebody that was focused on sports, you know, the burly athlete and all that. Okay, but nonetheless, Abner Doubleday centered on Brownsville, and then shortly afterwards, of course, the baseball took off and exploded in the world. Now, exploded not only in the world, but the Valley embraced it totally. The Valley teams were very rudimentary back in those days because the only thing that they had to have was like a cow pasture and some ragtag costume uniform that they had. And where did they play in Brownsville in particular? They played at Depot Park, which was right there by where the train station came in 1904. They played at Washington Park, and then they played at various other cow pastures. That was as simple as it got. The main place that they played, here, if you can see it, is Fort Brown on the parade grounds. When it comes to the Valley, there were some monumental teams. Now, get these names. I'm sure a lot of you are going to remember this, right? Edinburgh Bobcats, of course, 1926. The Mission Grapefruiters. The Brownsville Charros. Now, that was a heck of a team. The McAllen Palms and the Packers and the Giants. Harlingen Lads. Now, that one's going to get you. The Harlingen Hubs. San Benito Saints. Lafarian Nighthawks and the Donna Cardinals. So all of those were very popular back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. The heyday for baseball in the Valley and probably for the rest of the nation was the 1950s. That was before television and everybody went indoors. Now, a very telltale truth that happened about baseball in particular is if you look back in the old Brownsville High School yearbooks and all of that, you don't see baseball, because that was a summer sport and school was out during that period. Everybody was focusing on the glamour sport, which was football. But then on the South Texas so-called league, they had Laredo, they had Robstown, they had Corpus Christi. Victoria was a big one, Beeville and all of that. And some legendary ball games were played in that what you call district. Now, speaking of legend, there were two individuals that were what you would call, wouldn't be suspected as being ball players during the teens off into the 20s. And that was John Gregory Kennedy of the Kennedy Ranch, and that was Mifflin Kennedy's son, and Frank Rabb. They were semi-pro back in those days, and the rest is history.
Hey, Gene, that's the wrong side.
Are you sure? Okay. Ah, it fits a better. Okay. For KVEO News, I'm Eugene Fernandez.
For a look at more RGV history stories, log on to our website. That's kveo.com. We'll be right back.